All right, folks, here we go. Joe Duffy's Picks continues to roll. We got a very big weekend weather report as far as college football and NFL, the biggest weekend as far as weather affecting handicapping stuff. We're going to have those details, not specifically on this report. We're going to do one a little bit later on in the day on the Sharp report and whatnot. And we just continue to roll at Joe Duffy's Picks at offshoreinsiders.com. Let's do a preview, first of all, the World Series Game 3, and then we're going to have a free pick on USC and Colorado. And let's see, why don't we give the line, of course, for Game 3 of the World Series. Houston with Cranky, Washington with Sanchez. Houston, 141 at road favorite, total of 8. And looks like over. Well, it varies, really. Some places you're going to have juice if you bet the under. Some places you're going to have juice if you bet the over. So definitely shop around. Open up is only 121 and 8. So obviously people betting money to say Houston's going to turn this into a series. Zach Greinke's splits are as consistent as anyone out there. You cannot find a bad split for him. Home, road, day, night, turf, grass, market consistency. Somewhat surprisingly, Anibal Sanchez, worse at home than he is on the road. 4.10 home ERA, 3.10 on-base percentage against, but been pitching quite well as of late with a 1.37 ERA over his last 3, 2.16 on-base percentage against. Nationals, man, obviously if you're in the World Series, you're going to be hot. But few teams are going to be as hot as the Nationals at any point of the year. 42-16. Of course, they get off to that little rough start. But they've been fantastic since. They've also dominated the series at 21-5. They have an OPS of 808 the last 7 games. Again, we're going to have a free side pick on USC and Colorado. Easy in, easy out. Easy deposit, easy withdrawal. At mybookie.ag, you will get up to a $1,000 bonus for a first-time deposit. When you use the promo code Duffy, D-U-F-F-Y, you will always get the largest sign-up bonus they allow. They use Bitcoin, and again, no complaints I've ever gotten from a client. Universal raving about mybookie.ag. They are run by professional business people, not by mere bookmakers. Mybookie.ag. Please use the promo code Duffy. USC and Colorado. Colorado outscored 86-13 over the last 2 games. Teams that are returning home now off consecutive road losses of 30 or more. A pretty decent 115, 96, and 3 for 54.7%. Now again, that's not necessarily a spectacular angle, so to speak. 54.7, you're not going to run to the bank on that. But, I've always said that college football is the number one momentum sport, but really it's more so when teams are playing well and then playing at home. It just seems that home is a pretty good antidote, I should say, or an anecdote as well. But again, when teams are playing poor, but if they were blown out on the road and they do return home, like the song goes from the 1970s, all right, we're coming home, we're going to get right back, Maxine Nightingale. That's the way it's been. So home, sweet home. And remember, this is a short week for USC, and they're playing in that high elevation of Colorado. Now, USC has played very well the last 2 weeks. They did lose to Notre Dame by 3, which that day I think it was one of our very, very few losers that we had. We had Notre Dame, what did we do? I can't even remember, like 11-3 a couple Saturdays ago. They crushed Arizona last week. But look, under Helton, this team hasn't been the mark of consistency. I can see them coming in with a letdown. The home team, 7-0 straight up in Southern Cal's games. Now, that being said, on the road, they did lose to BYU in overtime. They've lost to Washington and Notre Dame, so they're pretty good teams. But road favorites who are undefeated at home and winless in the road in Game 8 or later. So, yeah, well, there's plenty of data. Those teams are only 35-43. That applies to Colorado. I would say, of course, to fade Colorado. Now, USC running back Stephen Carr is doubtful. 266 rushing yards on 2 touchdowns, another touchdown receiving. USC's Drake Jackson and Christian Rector both doubtful. They've pretty good players. They've combined for 41 tackles and 4.5 sacks this year. For the Trojans, though, their quarterback Keaton Slovis is finally healthy. Your free winner, I did release this elsewhere earlier in the week at plus 13, but now, in fact, I should have given you the lines up front. It's now down to USC minus 12 and 64. It opened at USC 12.5 and 59.5, and then the public was betting USC initially, and it was up earlier this week. I did give it as some guest appearances. I do. Gave Colorado 13.5. Still do like them at 12 because, like I said, USC, well, we gave all the reasons, but I do think USC is one of those predictably unpredictable teams. Just when they start to be playing well and they're supposed to win a game is when I'm going to fade them. So, again, offshoreinsiders.com. Joe Duffy's picks also, folks. Joe Duffy's picks with the college football total of the year on Saturday. Got a ton of Saturday winners. In fact, going to add some Sunday and Monday NFL. Very strong pick on the Monday night football game. Offshoreinsiders.com is a place to go for thoroughly betted sports books and sports handicappers who have been winning publicly since the 1980 score phone days, baby.